Hey guys, just a real brief kind of a tutorial here. I'm working on a lesson in Canvas, HTML editing, and so what I thought I would do was show you how to use a div container. A div container is essentially a structure within an HTML page that is a self-contained container. Think of it as a transparent box that can contain text or video or anything that you can put in a web page, you can put inside a div. And it's basically just a way to position those things within the web page. You can do it with great accuracy and great precision to within 1 pixel, basically, if that's what you need to do. So what I'll do is let's go ahead and look at my page that I've got open here in Canvas. This is just a regular informational page. It's got the title of the page, ignore that, and then it's got 2 lines of text. This content's in a div tag, this content's not. So basically you can't really tell the difference until we start manipulating and adding things to the div tag. So let's go ahead and edit that. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create a let's create a background color so that we can kind of get an idea of how big this is or how big it can be, things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a style, and I'm going to go background. I think it's background-color. I'm going to make this yellow. I could be wrong. Let's go check really quickly. Just to make sure. And it is default background color is transparent. I knew that. But what I need to do is look at the and I don't want to use a class just yet. I want to use the background color. Yeah, background-color. So that's what we're going to do here. Alright, so background color is yellow. Hopefully, if I did this right, style, background-color is yellow, and then close the div tag. So hopefully this should make a yellow color behind the text. And sure enough, it does. You'll notice it extends all the way across the page. That's because I did not tell it how big to be. I could have given it a width and a height. In fact, let's do that next. But for right now, just notice. Forgive me, I needed to do that though. You'll notice it doesn't continue, or it does continue all the way across the page to reconnect. The reason that it does that is because I didn't tell it a specific size. So there's only 1 line of text, so it's only 1 line tall, but the line goes all the way across the page. And that is the default for a div. You'll notice that this box, or this text, doesn't have a background behind it because this is not within this div tag. So now, let's make another little change here, and we're going to change the size of the yellow box a little bit. So I'm going to come back into my editor, and I'm going to, let's see here, how do I want to do this next? I'm going to give it a width, spell width, and I'm going to make that, 400 pixels, and I'm going to give it a height, and I'm going to make that 400 pixels as well. And let's see if that, I may have my style. It's been a while since I've done this kind of styling. Let's see if it worked. And so it did. So now 400 pixels by 400 pixels. And you'll notice this is not, it doesn't look like it's exactly a square. It's because it's 400 pixels plus the amount of space taken up by this line of text here. So if we go from the bottom of that down, that's 400 pixels, which should be the same amount as the width. That's why it doesn't look like a perfect square. There's a little bit of space added for this text. But you get the idea. I can make this box any size I want within the page. I can also place it at any location that I want to within the page. So let's go ahead and look at that very quickly here. All right, and I'm going to move that box. So let's see here. I'm going to make it, first of all, I need to tell it to position absolutely, P-O-S-I-T-I-O-N. What that says is I want this to be exactly placed right where I want it to be. And so I say position absolute, and now I'm going to say left, because we position things by the left and by the top. So I'm going to put the left border at 200 pixels, and I'm going to put the top at 200 pixels. Do that a little better. Okay, and that should scoot it over and down a little bit now. And I obviously misspelled something. Let's go back and look again here. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's what it's supposed to look like. 200 over and 200 down. You'll notice that we've not moved this piece of text at all. This piece of text and this piece of text are completely separate. They're in separate containers. They're both contained within the page, but this one's just within the page, and this one's within a movable box within the page. So that's, I wonder why that's not doing what it's supposed to do, though. I should be able to see that. Oh, there it is. I forget sometimes that these pages tend to scroll, but that's really annoying. Okay, but you can see that it's there, and that's what counts. Canvas is not the best HTML editing environment by any means, but as you can see, it is there. 200 pixels from the zero border here over, 200 pixels from the zero top border down. That is where it's at. So I can control the position, I can control the color, I can control the size, and within that I can control the formatting. Like I can change the color of the text, I can change the font face of the text, I can change anything. If I put a picture within this divisional tag, the picture will move as I move the location. An interesting thing, particularly in HTML5, using JavaScript, it's possible to move a div tag around the page in real time, which means I can animate things using div tags. I can use a JavaScript to grab this container and move it all over the page, so anything that I put inside the container is also going to be moving all over the page. So that's just another little outside story. Probably not going to be necessary within Canvas, but it is good to know that I can move things around, and that's what's important. That's what I'm trying to do. Like I said, I don't know why this page chooses to be that way, but in fact it does. So let's go back and let's get rid of that positioning format. Alrighty, now I am going to leave the color there because frankly it's easier to keep up with the div when you know where the color is, or when you can see the color. It's easier to know where the box is. Think of this as a transparent box. Yikes, I must have I took something away that I shouldn't have. And that's an interesting thing to do. And yes, apparently I took some of the text away and got rid of my div. So let's go back now and put the color back in. I'm going to do style equal. What I'm doing right now is adding an inline style sheet. It's not the best way. Ideally, you should separate style information and content. That means I should have a separate document for style and then use classes and ID tags to apply the style within my content. But Canvas does not allow you to access their external style sheets because they are institution-wide, and if you change something in that style sheet, it changes it for the whole institution, so they will not allow you to access that. So what I'm doing here is I am putting the color back in. So let's say background underscore color, and we're going to separate our property from our modifier with a hyphen. I'm going to make it yellow again. We close that off with a semicolon, and then we close the whole statement off with another quotation mark. Now, if I go back, I should see a yellow bar that goes all the way across, and there it is. All right, so now we're back to where we are. That will give you a pretty good idea of what a div tag can do and also how you can use them. You can place these to within 1 pixel of anywhere you want on the screen. So it's very easy to move text around and format your page to look exactly like you want it. Prior to division tags, if you wanted to have a 2-column or 3-column layout, for example, you had to use tables, and it was really clunky and really hard to get your columns the right width, etc. But now with divisions, you can have 1 wide column, 1 narrow column. You can specify the widths of the columns. You can specify the heights of the columns. You can put little colored boxes within the columns. There are innumerable things that you can do to format a page using divisions. So it's a very important tool, and it's one that you need to be fully aware of. Thanks for paying attention to this short video. I appreciate very much your time, and so I hope that using division tags makes your instructional design job and your web development jobs a lot easier. Have a good day.